Okay. Okay, so this is...
My grandfather's, my dad's father's naturalisation papers in 1912.
Yeah.
When he was living in Hanbury Street.
So was he living there before, but not naturalised?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
you had to get.
What is interesting, I haven't got
You had
that.
to probably
There's
live
letters.
Online,
So for a
there
certain-
were letters.
got
So when did they
letters.
come across? What was the
There
actual...
were letters of commendation.
Oh, from people saying, yes, he's a
He's
decent
an
chap.
upright citizen. And it was all
Yes.
sorts of people
Well,
out in Edmonton and Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham was.
Tottenham.
Tottenham. Who was it? Sort of...
I don't know,
Danny
1912, I don't know who it would have been.
Who gave him a naturalisation? Is that what you're... No.
Well,
Who
they
sponsored him?
they said
Yeah, sorry.
his place of business was 38 Spittle Square, Bishopgate.
Which is the...
And these
Yeah.
children were, he had a wife called Myra, aged 33 then, and 4 children.
Who's that?
Annie Harris,
Oh.
Mark.
she was aged 9. Mark's, who's my father, aged 7.
Yeah.
And we've always called him
Max.
Max. I never knew his name.
I never knew you.
Sissy, aged 3,
Sissy.
and Emmanuel, the black sheep of the family,
Yes,
was 1.
Uncle Manny.
Uncle Manny, yes. That's another Uncle Manny. And the census figures, well, they
Oh, right, you remember that. Oh.
yeah. The person who's done most about this was Nikki. Yeah. She found all this, but there's... Oh, these are the... No, actually, this is the Cohen.
James's wife. Oh, she fell.
Harris Cohen, Sarah Cohen.
What's that? The
No, this is the Cohen census,
Yeah.
1911.
We don't know much about the ancestry of...
No, the Cohen side. We've only
I
got...
don't really want to.
We've only got the Rosengarten side.
I think
Which
they
seems
were...
somewhat easier, Rosengart, than Cohen.
Yeah, that's...
Cohen.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know, it was
That probably wasn't even their
Well, it's the
surname.
tribes, isn't it?
Because when people came over,
They-
the authorities had great trouble in pronouncing names or writing them down.
Yes.
So if he said, "Oh, you can be Mr. Cohen," then instead of Badavadovich,
Yeah.
or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I was saying to Vicky, but mind you, there aren't any brothers. I don't know. We don't know that family.
Can I go out the room for a minute?
Yes.
Of course you can.
Yeah. But when we went to Johnny's Howard, is his name?
Yeah.
The mitzvah, there was somebody there from Auntie Annie's family who said that in Minsk or somewhere they were horse dealers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There were horse dealers of Cohen's.
Oh, were they?
Horse dealers in Minsk. But
Oh,
I think
were they?
horse dealers like second-hand concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Shake having
He's
Godolphin.
making it colourful.
Shake
I
Cohen.
heard that they had
Shake your money, Cohen.
they had like a coaching in or something.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, yeah.
Used to, you know.
So they're
people used to
entrepreneurial family, definitely. Not
Well-
that anyone knew that term in those days, as opposed
No, I
to
don't think.
itinerant
in your
workers.
terms, no.
I know, but rather than itinerant
It
workers
was
shuffling
very
around.
limited. It always happened in the
Rosengarten.
ghetto.
Yes,
Right.
You know, sort of open where they could, you know, it was all
very restricted. You know.
very
Well, I was
restricted.
telling Vicky, you see, why a lot of the Russian Jews came over, especially the men, was because they could be conscripted
Conscripted.
in the
into
Russian army
yeah.
for 25 years.
It's probably no
potatoes.
better now.
Now,
Yeah.
You know, so
That's great.
so are
The
we,
other thing
where
is
are we then?
well, that's how they came. Well, yeah.
If you know your history in Germany, there was the Pale of Settlement, which Catherine the Great said all the Jews I want to live, stretching from the Baltic down to like Turkey, Black Sea, and that was the sway. So like Minsk is in the top, belts, and Galicia, which is is in the bottom. And all the Jews lived there, which encompassed most of Poland and bits of Hungary and that big thing. So that's why.
What year are you talking about, right?
He's talking about
Well, 1880.
1800.
The interesting thing, of course, Popsy's mother and father were cousins.
Oh, that's
Which
right.
is
that's
very-
not-
That's right.
That's not like
It explains our insanity.
Wait a minute, we're not finished.
Oh, the other two was cousins.
The other two, they were all cousins.
Oh, great.
Uncle and niece.
Uncle and niece.
Uncle and niece.
Oh, Lord.
That's why we're all mad.
So Mimi
They said
and Louis.
Louis was
Mimi
back.
and Louis. Away you go.
You two, when you're older, you're going to get married and have children.
What is Louis?
That's all right. Uncle and niece.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Well, here's the family tree. Yes,
This is all Rosenthal.
well, they're 30 months from now. So the point is, some of them came over first, and then obviously they said come over with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other
But
thing
some
Daddy
of them
told
went
me,
went to America, some
Yeah,
went to
Australia.
Australia.
and Harris, that's Popsy's father, was the village. If you wanted a letter written,
Yeah.
he would write it
He
for
had
you.
beautiful handwriting.
He had very good
Oh, he
handwriting.
could write on a pinhead.
Yeah, a very, very small
Amazing,
handwriting.
amazing. He was very talented, very artistic,
Yeah,
He was
and
supposed to
he was a sort of a rabbi, meaning teacher.
yeah.
He was.
Yes, he was a
He was-
teacher.
Sorry, who is he? He is your
Popsy's dad.
His dad, right?
Popsy's dad, yeah.
Our
yeah.
great
He
grandfather.
was. He
Yes.
was quite
Your great
talented in an
Popsy's your
academic
great
way.
grandfather. Popsy is
Their father.
My
Their
my
father.
father, we called him Popsy, thanks
Max.
to her daughter, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, where did that name
Caroline
come
called him
from?
Popsy.
Oh, I don't, yeah, probably.
Now this was
Oh.
the very rich Rosengarten. He started the factory. This is Marx.
Right.
Groucho.
Oh, right. Yes.
So he
And this
was
is
the he was the cousin of or the brother of Harris.
Yes, the brother. Of
Brother
That's
of
right.
Harris.
Printed paper.
Yeah,
His
Showing,
Mordecai.
yeah, all the sayings.
And he had fur factory, didn't he? Right.
He's digressing.
He right.
I'm sorry.
Yes, he lived in Brighton.
They lived in Brighton, Harris Rosengarten.
Oh right, okay.
And this
I'm
is a
listening.
postcard, fascinating, sent by him. Well, him, Marx, to his brother, my grandfather.
In
And
Yiddish.
In Yiddish.
In Yiddish.
It's written in
From
Yiddish.
Great Yarmouth.
Great young.
Yeah.
Having a lovely time.
This
Now hold on.
This
I'm now
way.
getting confused. This is a postcard that's a photo of
Yeah.
them. How, so you can.
It's very modern.
That's what you get done. You get a photo done of
How
yourself.
forward was
and-
that?
Yeah.
That's
But
like
you
an
have to-
email.
Don't even do
That's an
that.
email.
Yeah.
You have to be
Yes.
rich to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why was he rich? What was his?
Well, his father- he
It was
started
fur.
the
They had the factory.
Well, they-
It's behind Selfridges.
That's right.
It was upstairs, and the name Rosengarten was all in gold,
Put it on the trolley.
thick gold lettering,
I never saw that.
all round. Yeah, well, I went to school at Barrett Street.
Yeah,
It was at Barrett Street.
yeah.
I went to college there. So,
Yeah.
and they also had family, their children settled in Brighton. Because I
Yeah.
suppose they used to go there for the weekend. They had a mansion, it was a mansion in Willesden Green with a ballroom.
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
remember it. Where's the money? I
In Bonsby Park, was it? Possibly.
mean, where?
Right. So,
Bonsby Park.
sorry.
No.
In
It was,
Wilson Green.
it,
I mean-
you know where the shul was?
Yeah.
In Willesden Green, near Melton.
That
sort
is
of on the
Popsy's
other side of
uncle.
Melrose Avenue somewhere.
It's not his uncle.
One of
I thought you
those.
said it was Mark.
Oh yeah,
It is, it is.
Sorry, my darling. Yes. It's all too complicated.
And that Marx
I'm listening, you
Rosengarten
see.
was a founder of the Willesden Green Synagogue. He was a
Ah.
well, he put money in.
Warm Lane. No.
And as I've told you,
Oh, I think it was Warm Lane.
Warm Lane,
Yes, you're
yeah.
right. Warm Lane. It was.
and just as a side issue, I think I've told you is that his granddaughter was Sally,
Oh yeah, she was green,
and she married Wendy Greenwash's brother, Alan.
and she became.
So she knew, had an inkling that I was going to join that practice before I did,
Ah.
All right.
so it seeped out. So now she's Lady Gringotts.
Yeah, and she was
Age
a council.
Age conservative.
And what's her relation to you?
Wait.
His second cousin.
So those characters there, who are those children?
Well, this is Aubrey, Charlie, and possibly Sally.
Charlie.
Hang on, I might need that.
Where have they ended up? Where have their children ended up? I mean, you know, what's that
They
like?
were
It'll be too hard
furriers.
to
They
edit.
were furriers.
Well, he went to Cambridge.
Yeah.
Aubrey.
Aubrey, and he was in the
Judge.
army,
Oh, was he?
wasn't
He was the first black sheep of the marriage. He married a nurse. So,
Well, seems to be a common thread.
and I'm supposed to look like him, poor chap. Well, he looked like me.
Well, no, but that line, where does that end
Groucho's
up?
thing was.
Well, all in Brighton. and Sally,
Half Jewish.
Sally
Can you
Gringotts.
go into the pool
Yeah,
halfway?
it's not in there.
No, we don't.
No, that's
Oh, I know that one.
going further. I don't know where they would have gone. Do you know what?
Well, all I know is we went down and took furs down there to Brighton with Barry Chibbett. That's,
Who I
Dinah's
see
son.
every week.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
Funny, I
So,
told
yeah, we
you.
went down in Joe Blair's Rover and drove it and see if we could get a ton out of it. Which we did, going through, was it Crawley or one of those places? It was a village policeman
Crawley. Oh, well,
on a bike.
that's the store. That's
Yeah.
the next
Oh
store.
yeah, well we'll come to
Oh,
that.
that's
Village
we're not
poli-
up to
village
that.
policeman was
They
on the
all
bike and we
broke
went
out.
flying by 100 miles an hour. And he was like, where's your whistle and everything? We would have gone, I was laughing. And we did it on the way back and he was on the other side of the road and the same thing happened.
What about when Daddy or Manny? No, he was teaching Manny to drive and
thought
they
it was
followed
Daddy.
somebody all the way home. They thought that he were going
Yeah.
the right way.
Yeah.
He followed them all the way home, and they didn't know where they were.
Yeah, no, Daddy said yes.
So he
Yeah,
was
and
teaching
left
other
Manny
men
to
to
it.
drive.
Because there was no test in those days.
No.
No.
That's right.
1932.
Anyway, we're jumping.
Jumping,
Wow.
which
Gotta
was
go
another
keep,
sad
keep
story
back
about
in the 1800s.
Manny and
aren't
Daddy
we?
with
Or the 90s.
Yeah,
her husband. Yeah.
Seeley, Small, Joseph, Phil
Phil
Small.
Small, yeah. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
side issue.
Yeah.
So these are the venerable people, and these are the incredible pictures of my father
Windowsill.
Yeah.
Got that
Mm.
on my windowsill.
So,
with the inevitable cigarettes.
so furs, and then where does the hairdressing
That's
come
the
into it? So,
No, there's Daddy.
Hold on a minute,
Yeah,
so-
there's
so-
Daddy.
Yeah.
He invented a permanent wave.
no, but hold on. So he's got the furs. That's all going swimmingly. Everything's going as life should be.
Yeah.
And then
When he decides that's going so well, I might as well go into hairdressing.
Yeah.
he started trimming the
But
furs.
before, just one other,
Hair on
other
fur.
He made.
Um,
hang on, he made fur coats out of people's hair.
Yeah, Mimi was a
Already, was
pupil
it?
teacher, wasn't she? A teacher pupil teacher.
Something.
So
A print.
Mimi, mummy.
Mummy, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the
Apprentice.
school, in the school, the teacher would say to her, "You look after this group of children." That's
I
what.
don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know the story.
And the other thing, she was a ladies' gentleman's hairdresser.
Yes, you
Yeah.
could cut
Yeah.
men's
She
hair.
cut
Cut
men's
men's
hair
hair and shave them
and shave.
and put the hot
Cut my
towels
hair.
on them.
That was me.
Yeah, that was Mimi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that's how he got into. They opened a shop. A hair.
Oh, the pair of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he used to do the system then in the back room.
Oh, I see.
Oh, the hell with the
The
customers.
footballer.
Yeah.
Oh, I
My
see.
Could never stick at anything. He was a brilliant man, but he was ill-educated, and he never
He wasn't
set his mind straight.
disciplined, yeah.
And,
Seems to be a thread, yeah, very much a thread.
But when you took him to Smith,
I mean, the memories I've got is card evenings at our house
Yeah.
with Daddy berating everybody.
Why did you put that?
Why didn't you play the ace? You should have played the king. You idiot! Why didn't you do this?
you know,
And he never held back, and everybody was in fear of him. Even the other brothers-in-laws. I mean, Uncle Dave, who was
Yeah.
Auntie Betty's husband, Jean Harlow. Yeah.
I remember Auntie Betty.
Yeah,
She-
fag
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
hill.
yeah.
But she stopped smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the glamour puss. Wasn't
But
she?
any time they had a problem with
money.
Yeah.
No.
Uncle Dave used to come
No,
with all
when-
his tax
well-
forms, and Daddy used to
You know.
sort them out.
Yeah.
He's one
Oh,
of
I
these
see,
men, beg your
yeah.
pardon, my darlings, that he could solve everybody's problems
Yeah.
and help them get money,
Yeah.
but when it came to himself,
Yeah.
he singularly failed.
Yeah.
But there are people like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very like, well, not quite, but doctors who can't heal themselves but are very good at healing everybody else. Because you-
They drink, they smoke, they,
emotionally,
yeah.
You
Then
can't
you
stand outside
yeah,
with normal.
then
He
you
was
really sort of-
very generous. He
Yes.
helped
Yes.
a lot of people. Always picked up the bill.
When Terry,
Well, yeah.
But that I heard that story. He used to tip
Yeah,
on
before,
the
like
end.
last night, he
in a
would have given
restaurant
the waitress
before.
£5 here, £5
I've
there,
done that. I've
before
done
we
that.
even started.
Vicky, when
Yeah.
Terry qualified, we had to get on the train. He had 1 million books and everything. And all he was doing was giving porters money, you know, as he
Oh.
walked down. He's supposed to help him with the books. He's giving them all money.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember.
But then you
Well, that
come
hasn't
up
passed
to the
down,
war.
down the generation. It hasn't passed its way down to me.
I always thought Daddy had a separate factory in London
Yes,
Wall
he
or
did.
something.
No, in
He did. There was a
Moorgate.
book.
Moorgate.
Yeah.
Really?
And there was a bomb hit,
He
the
lost
fire.
it in the fire.
In the fire, and
Yeah.
there was a fire, and he said, "What I did was, everybody got out, and I was there, but I got to the floor. There's underneath the smoke. If there's fire, there's smoke. You have to be down." And he said, "I crawled out and got out before the whole place burned."
God.
Well, that was the
And
bomb.
we actually
What
did have
factory
a
was
fire
that
at
though?
home. I remember, and I
Furs.
also kept down
And then he
and
changed.
crawled along.
Well, how
out
did
the
he
way.
acquire the factory? I mean, if he was working.
I can see him with a white coat.
Could well be
Yeah.
don't ask.
Well, that was late.
Yeah, that was later.
I don't
Yes,
know.
don't ask. That was
But
later.
it was in the war, wasn't it?
Well, the war. We come up
Yeah,
to
but
the war.
the other thing is they were, yeah, so in the war he was in the logistics, petrol, wasn't he? He gave out petrol
Yeah.
Did he? I don't.
to Canadian troops.
Well, he was in the army.
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Well, that was his job in the war.
But before we get there, you haven't said that his organisation, when the day war broke out,
Oh,
he
the day
collected everybody, the whole family, to
Oh,
move to Crawley.
Crawley.
He must have found a big house
He did.
Brilliant.
and brilliant
It was,
organising
it
man.
was a village. It wasn't a town.
Like it is now.
Yeah.
It was a village.
And the,
And it was a big double-fronted house with an orchard at the back. And as we came in taxis with duvets strapped to the top,
Oh no!
the curtains were twitching.
Yeah, yeah. I bet. Yeah.
and the
Some
milkman
trillions.
had to deliver 20 pints of milk.
He
Oh.
loved it, the
And
milk
wait a minute,
and bread.
he walked about with the papers, shredded wheat. That's what he
Yeah.
ordered, shredded wheat.
And tinned salmon,
Yeah.
everything that was non-perishable, you see.
Yes.
So we could all live with the whole family.
So when you
there.
say a whole family, who was that?
It was
Well-
our,
Mummy's
Mummy's side, really.
Mummy's side.
oh, mummy's side.
Not his side.
No, he's
Or
sorry.
mummy's side. Who he was.
I don't remember.
He was like the father figure.
So that was
Yeah, yeah.
September 39 already.
Yes,
Yeah.
September 1st.
So it was Uncle Harry, mummy's brother, and his
Willie.
wife,
Right.
yeah.
and his
three
children.
Three
Three children.
John and the twins, Joe
Right.
and Shirley,
And then it was Betty,
Betty,
Dave, and
yeah.
Andrea was born
in
in that year.
Was she?
yes. she
So
was
hang on,
14
who out of you? It was the three of you went to the house, or just
Yeah.
you two?
No, the three.
No, I was
Three of
alive.
us.
I was
How
born
old were you?
36.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I don't remember it, of course. No.
No,
but
you were tiny.
We remember, and that's where Aber Duville's apple simmers, because we had this orchard, and all she was doing, the that bubba, was making apple
So it's
simmers.
extended family as well, Mimi's sisters
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, mother.
Blimey.
And every Friday night for Shabbos, she would light the candles.
Whatever
We'd
happened.
be sitting in the dark, but she would light, well, when she needed to light the
Blackout, yeah.
candles.
But the point is, in the end, they called it the phony war.
Yeah,
Because
because
people
nothing
disappeared from London because they thought,
Oh, I
obviously,
think
it
it
was
was
the
gone through his
bombed.
phone,
So we
And then
came,
after, I don't know how long was it there? 3 months?
Yeah, not long.
Not
Nothing happened, so we came back.
came
back
back.
to
And
London.
then when it did happen, we went to Aylesbury, didn't we?
Well, wait a minute.
that
Then we,
Yeah.
we were
That must be our-
evacuated on our own.
How
To
old were
our
you two? How old were
school.
you two? Myra and Pat, how old were you two then?
I was 10 when the war
Oh, right,
broke
proper
out. I
young.
was born in
Yeah.
29.
I was
I was
13.
And she was 13.
Oh, that's
And
a
we
No,
were-
I was 3.
We
yeah.
went on the train with the gas mask,
So you came back to
Where were you
London.
at school then? Where were
Everything
you
was
at school?
really.
Oh,
back to normal, but they wanted the children
My school-
out.
That
of
was when they were
London.
organising the
Then when
evacuation.
we came back, and I was 13, and then we lived in Grey Eagle Street or something.
But before that, we were evacuated.
But where did
That's
I go
another.
to
Where did you
No,
go to
you jumped
school?
ahead.
Where did you go to school?
In Ilford, wasn't it? In Ilford.
Oh, before the. Oh, you're going back to before the war.
Well,
we went.
Yeah, we've
our
jumped,
first
haven't
school
we?
was Geary's in
Geary's,
Ilford.
yeah.
We moved to when he was obviously making money from the hairdressing. We were the first, one of the first Jewish
Two
families
Jewish families in
to,
Ilford.
to live in Ilford.
Because you originally, sorry, back with the hairdressing and everything. Where were you living
In
then?
Forest Gate.
Oh, okay, right,
Forest
okay.
Gate.
And then you went out to
Went
Ilford.
We moved out to Ilford, which was very nice at that time, and that was my first school, Geary's. You must have been there.
I went to Geary.
Yeah. And then it was
The bomb
the bombing, and then we moved
to the east.
back to Forest. We were in Forest Gate because I went to the school round at Maryland Point, and that's where we were evacuated from. To
Where
Aylesbury.
David Beckham came from round there, where we lived.
Yeah, well, your grandfather's
It
Jewish.
is, it is.
Yeah, we were. This is interesting. We were Myra and I were billeted in a mansion house. Mummy and Terry
Oh,
were
yes.
still in London, and Daddy was in the army.
Oh, wow.
And we were in a mansion house, a most beautiful house. They still had maids, and we
In Aylesbury?
I was
In
in
Aylesbury.
Aylesbury.
And
And he was the director of Hazel Watson and Viney
who are the prince?
printers, which still exist today, and we were billeted there, and we were looked after by the maids.
But how many of you went?
Just
Two of them.
Not a lot of
on
school
our
kids.
own, on our own,
Oh, no.
with a gas mask.
And I
It was
must tell
frightening.
you this, I still remember, like I'm sitting here, the night Coventry was bombed.
Oh,
They came over all night long in November, and they bombed Camp Coventry to the ground. It was to the ground, the cathedral,
Yeah.
everything. And I can still remember those.
Well, the one night when
It was a Thursday.
they flew back to Germany, flying back to Germany, one airman dropped a landmine because he didn't want to go back with the bombs. And this house that we were living in, I was having a bath, the maid was bathing me, and all the window came in, the whole house, part of the house was destroyed. So from living in this mansion, we were then billeted
In a farmer's.
by a 2A family who worked in the paint shop of the Hazel Watson and Wife. So we went from up there to
Yeah.
down there in a council house, two up, two
I don't
down,
know who you are.
5 inches of bath water that we'd all had to use. Oh,
Charming.
it was murder. And I remember her bringing home fish and chips from the takeaway on a Saturday, and when we cut into the fish, there was all the black skin. That's what I remember.
What was her name? Freezing. Dormer.
Dormer.
Mrs. Dormer.
But
They
I
had
remember
one child.
Aylesbury.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
well,
were
wait a
opposite
minute.
Mrs.
Then we come up to Mimi came with Terry and lived.
Opposite.
Rented a room.
California. It was
California
That's
way.
right.
It had
and
a
you used to sing
had a stream
California,
in front
I
of it with a little bridge to the where you live.
And she had one basin.
Yeah, so they lived there near us.
I
so then
see. Yeah.
I still didn't feel safe. I
No.
felt horrible. Can I say this? That I felt that any moment they were threatening to parachute down, the Germans. And I thought they'd knock on the door, any Jews in here,
Yeah.
and drag us out by the hair.
Oh.
It was horrible, nightmares.
I don't remember. I know it was freezing
No, well, you didn't
cold.
feel it.
All I remember.
Same as me.
No.
I'm sure I've got memory of being chased
Yeah.
across the field. Now I'm
Probably.
saying it's a bull. I think it was
Yeah.
a cow.
Yeah.
But we had to run.
Didn't stop to look.
Yeah, we always had to go across the fields to get to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were going to school in, you know, that
And
part-
Ellsworth. I went to. Myra was already finished with school.
I worked in the
She
insurance office.
Where?
Insurance.
So you were
And then
you were there for quite a
I
while.
worked at Mac Fisheries
Mac Fisheries.
in the office. You
She
know,
was
little office.
Already
And one day
older.
somebody
Yeah.
phoned up to order fish. I said, "Who's speaking?" Mrs. Sarah
Churchill.
Oliver. She was married to
Vic
Vic Oliver.
Vic Oliver.
No, we ain't.
Churchill's daughter, who finished up drunk in the
Oh, yeah,
streets in
yeah.
New York.
That's
So
another
it's
story.
Everything.
That's quite funny.
So I went to school. Now I did then was happy at the school. It was Sir John. It was a school evacuated from the city. It was called Sir John Cass Foundation School.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, very
And my worst nightmare was Mummy bought me. I was wearing black. You know, used to wear the black stockings, which are fashionable now. But she bought me brown boots, and I couldn't bear it. I had to wear brown boots
Oh.
with black stockings.
Oh, that's where the fashion.
Yeah.
Brown boots.
Yeah.
Brown
So-
boots, I
Got another theme.
And
there.
Yeah.
Brown boot
Wait.
theme.
Wait a minute. So I had a friend at the school. Her name was
Yeah.
Pamela Little.
brown boots.
She was a
I
daughter
asked
of
you,
a
some comedian.
of a chief inspector policeman from the city, and we became. We used to sing, not Deanna Durbin's song, but Gloria, whatever her name was, used to sing. We're loyal and true, da 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 da. That we always belong to the penguins. Used to march across the fields. So it was a happy time as well. It wasn't all frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were there for a couple of years.
You know,
So did you ever see your dad? Did he come back?
Oh,
yes.
He came back regularly.
Yeah, nobody came back with
cigarettes.
tins of chocolate biscuits and tin fruit. We couldn't get any tin fruit.
Okay.
He
Well, I-
managed to get
yeah.
all that.
I remember, you see, Minnie.
Now you take up the
Well, I don't. My memory's terrible.
He's
But
younger.
as regards to Daddy, that's why it's nostalgic to me when we drive south, like Woking and
Oh,
Bagshot and all these.
And
they
all-
were
yeah.
camps.
And what was it? Let's see.
Daddy was in the army, and Mummy used to take me. I don't know how often, but it was probably once a month, perhaps, or whatever, to see Daddy
Yeah.
I
on my own
see.
with her.
Yeah.
And I remember the Green
Oh.
Line, you know, the bus and the
Beginning to
train.
see.
Oh, no.
And he was enjoying it in the army.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he
He
could.
wasn't
He was
actually
going to be
Captain
trained to be an officer.
Captain Rosengart. And she said, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get out!
Speak with what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Max, what are you
Did
doing?
he get? So he was
Yeah,
in logistics, not up, you know, with his bayonet fixed.
No,
He was in logistics.
well,
one
I
other
was
one other
too-
point was when he was doing the basic training. He said we were all called out, you know, on parade, and he said I ran out and everything, all standing in line, perfect spick and span everything, and they came straight up to him, the sergeant major, the brigadier, look, where's your gun? He'd forgotten it, though he was on a charge or something.
Was it? Ordnance Corps.
Ordnance,
Royal
which people
Standby.
who do, you know, yeah.
Royal Ordnance.
And then what happened
They trained with
when Mummy said
broomsticks.
to
They
him,
didn't
what,
even
what do you
have
think
guns
you're doing?
Yeah.
to train with.
Yeah. So the family then had a long afterwards. They did what they call work their ticket, which meant the discharge from the army.
He was
By-
older anyway.
No,
He was old.
if they all did, it'd be no army. Anyway, we won't go over that, but just suffice to say,
Yeah.
eventually he was discharged from the army on compassionate grounds.
Because he was 40,
He was
over
old.
40 as well, so not really.
No. Yeah.
And
So
then,
what?
then,
The
then,
So-
then he became friends with Mr. Lou Simons, did he not?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's another. We won't
Yeah.
go into that one.
This is meant to be the full expose. It's not.
Oh, let's,
All I
yeah.
would say about
This is the
Lou
Walt Disney
Simon,
version.
he was Don Lou Simon, not
Yeah.
quite. He was a bookmaker, a very well wealthy bloke in our terms.
Hmm.
The
He
famous
lived in
pitch
Clifton
No, but
Court.
then what?
by
what
Lords.
but then, yeah, but
Lovely flat
then
they have, yeah.
what happened with they went to
Mimi's bored.
York races, went to York races,
Yeah.
and earned sufficient money from betting at York races to take time out and travel. So Mimi and Popsy went all around France.
South of France.
In the winter of 1947.
Which
Yeah.
was the snow was up to
Yeah,
there.
so they went to France,
And
travelled
very
around,
about a
and he
month
said,
after.
I was in the casino at Monte Carlo, and I think I had one chip left, and I just threw it on the table, the roulette wheel span smack on there, so we could stay a bit longer, and then he decided to be an artist.
Oh, that's
yeah.
jumping miles.
All right.
Oh, because,
What
you
a
know,
character.
I've got
Yeah.
that painting
Yeah,
that
you've got
he
that
did.
Oh yes.
Incredible painting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he copied it with graph paper, wasn't he?
Mm.
Yeah.
He did it mathematically.
Yeah, yeah.
He copied
Oh,
that
he was a cat.
on graph paper.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
We've identified there. It's in the national government.
Yeah,
Yes,
It's a Dutch
Van,
It's a-
Van Huysen.
somebody.
I've
yeah.
got it written on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Van
I
Huysen.
bought
So
a small
he was
Jumping
getting into
around,
forgery. Was that the point?
well, if you go on to the horses, that's another. I was with
But I
him
think we ought
in
to come
Folkestone
Let's go back.
on the day he won 500 quid
Whoa,
on Fairy Former. I can still remember the name of the horse.
500 quid, that's a lot of money.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of
Well,
money.
That's not money now.
It's a lot of
proper
money.
money.
What is it?
So how much?
50,000?
Yeah.
God knows how much.
Wow.
Grand now, he won in a race.
And he worked out. Anyway, we come
Yeah.
on to the system.
But before we
Sorry,
do that,
again.
we have to tell you that in our childhood, growing up, we all used to gather at at the grandma, the Bubba's house, in Buxton Street, and we all had on a Sunday,
Do a
and she would
turn.
make loads of food. Would be on. We all it was a big table, took up the whole room. We'd all sit around. We all had to do a turn, and that was.
My turn.
They used to sing. Do a bit of
I
dance.
used to say,
Yeah.
I
oh,
didn't do it in
young
church.
Lockie
You did.
But this
And
continued,
Jesus
this
the
continued
West.
when I was a
Well,
child.
I was infamous of driving them mad because I spent my whole time sitting across this settee, not this, but I mean the equivalent of a leather one,
Yeah.
You're
riding the
a
horse.
Yeah.
No,
or
you used
or
to
then
drive
getting a
fruit
a
a
suit,
basin.
a suit,
We
Oh.
know the old bus conductor.
yeah, suit bowl driving the bus.
Yeah, he was driving.
Auntie Ethel in the war was a bus conductress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
That was fantastic. She used to come home with all.
yeah,
Yeah.
tickets.
Any more tickets, please?
We had a lot of laughs in those days. Yeah.
So when is this? 19...
Well, that was
just after the war? Just after the war?
yeah.
Well,
Well, during and
during the
after.
war and after the war.
Yeah, during and after. So we had.
So
to
where
go
were you
back.
in war finished and all that sort of stuff? Were you back
We
in...
were in
Melrose.
Melrose Avenue.
You were back in London?
Cricklewood, yeah.
And Myra and I were at home when war was over.
We went
in
in the
45. We ran outside in the street.
There wasn't a
Nobody came out.
There wasn't a soul. Nobody.
Yeah.
No.
I had the
All English reserve, you see.
Yeah.
They wouldn't come out. So we felt so deflated. Mummy and Daddy were away or they weren't
Yeah, 'cause
there.
I remember listening to church on the radio by myself. You must
Yeah.
have been out.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Then there's all those speeches from Churchill, which were very inspiring. And yeah, so that's
my claim to fame about that time in Melrose Avenue was the two
That's when
military
you-
policemen
Godfrey.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
came
right.
looking for one of them. I think it was
Yeah.
Uncle Willie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think I recall this is one of our stories. Go on.
And basically,
Oh, sit down.
when did you last see your father, sort of thing,
We-
or
you
whatever they asked me, and I must have been primed by somebody to say,
Yeah, it's not like
I've
you
never
to
seen- I
lie.
don't know where my whatever I said. Okay, so that's okay, kid. They went off. I don't know exactly where. I don't remember precisely what it was all about, but it was something that he was hiding in the back room or something.
With his
Down
sack
the
of
cigarette
cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh,
These box of
cigarettes.
you know
cigarettes.
they used to
Go on.
used to
Yeah.
watches.
Did
and
they?
Pens, because they were
Then-
in short
Pens.
supply. Homes Daddy dealt.
Well, he then met Mr. Dobson, didn't he?
Yeah,
He was an English gentleman. I don't think
Yeah.
we ever met him, who lived in Westmoreland,
yeah.
which is
Yeah, where
now,
we
now
are.
the Lake District, of course.
Yeah, where we are.
And Popsy used to drive up there
Yeah.
in the war,
To get supplies of.
well, they used to do deals with
Anything
combs.
was
Combs.
short supply.
Exactly who Mr.
Yeah,
Dobson was.
there was a demand.
It was,
And then they got
slightly,
watches.
Yes.
not quite straightened out.
Used to get watches from abroad,
Well,
smuggled
you
in,
told me, do you want me to,
and they used to sell them
you
in
want me
the
to say
market.
about Jack Spot and that sort of thing?
Yeah, and all that.
Oh, well.
No, and they used to call them.
Come on, your
so
truth.
This
You got to
Lou
spill the beans.
Simons, the
Yeah.
bookmaker, was also had a stall in Petticoat
Really?
Lane,
Pass me my book.
and he said to Popsy, Grandpa, I want you to go to this address and get some kettles. So you know what he came back with? Kettles that you boil
Kettles,
water in.
and- but-
There was a slang
For watches.
for watches.
It's like four
Kittles.
four
Candles,
candles.
yeah.
Yeah, four candles.
Kittles.
Kettles.
Kittles. He went with Manny.
Yeah. And they took a taxi. He said, what you brought back here?
Yeah.
Crazy. He was quite a character,
Yeah.
Lou Simon.
Yeah.
They had a big Packard American
Yeah,
car.
that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, here we are. That's what I was looking for. There he is.
Honest Lou.
This
Oh,
is
that's
Uncle.
me, that's me.
This is Lou Simons, the bookmaker. A car, enormous car in those days.
Yeah.
American Packard.
Well,
American
he had a bookmaker's stand, so he had
Oh,
to have
there's a
the
full-blown picture of him.
staff in there.
And his son, Sydney.
He's still going.
Yes, and I saw him, Sydney. We met him.
Yeah.
Wasn't Uncle Lulu the Tic Tac man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Uncle Lulu.
Tic Tac.
Oh, we have to talk about Uncle Lulu, who was
That's
the
who I named
youngest
after,
son, the baby of 6 months. He grew up and he had a terrific personality.
Yeah.
Very, very humorous. Always made a joke out of everything.
And he never spoke like English,
It was all
up the apples
slang.
and pears.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it was all slang. So, he
Yeah, he was quite a character. He was terrible. He died at 46, rheumatic fever
Yeah,
in Barts.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to see
What,
him.
no,
Left
56.
2 children.
No, what did I say?
You
He was 46.
46.
I think he was 56.
Oh, he was 40. He was in his 40s. But,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the first sort of
Excuse
death.
me, can I take
Yeah,
a
should we-
toilet break?
Yeah, let's have
What
a.
about